name is Sarah. Welcome to the It is a Sarah podcast. Today it is Monday, September 15, 2025, and in this episode I want to share my handwerk perikelen. That's a Dutch word for my creative adventures from this week with you. I'm coming to you from the Netherlands, so excuse my Dutchy English. I love to knit, I love to crochet, and I love to talk. So that's the perfect combination for making this podcast. I make my episodes in Dutch and in English, so be sure you pick the right one. I am wearing my Ariana cardigan today. I am a big fan of the Ariana cardigan. It's a free pattern from Christoffers. She made it, I guess, for a yarn company. And for me, it's the Ultime is Dutch or is it English? Ultime combination. I think it's the same in Dutch and English. I'm sorry. For me it's the ultime combination between crocheting granny squares and knitting borders, especially the knit to purl to stitch. I made three. I made one cardigan and two sweaters. It's quite easy to turn this cardigan pattern into a sweater. I won't deep dive in it right now, but you can search for older episodes if you want to hear me talking about all the details. One advice, if you want to make an Ariana cardigan, I made quite some modifications, especially right here. And I also crocheted the squares together as I go. But my advice is to start at this part. When you start at the back part and the shoulders and a little bit of the front, this is the exciting part for the fit. When this fits well, the rest will be okay too. When I put this on this morning, I really felt the need for another one. No, that's not true. I don't need another one, of course. I need the happiness, the heart jumping feeling of making one. Okay, in this episode I want to share all my works in progress with you. This spring I organized a little cast-on party. I was inspired by one of my knitting friends. Her name is Marleen and her YouTube knitting podcast is called Sunny Sea Knits. She also makes episodes in English, so I will link her down below so you can check if you are interested. But she decided last year that she just wanted to cast on all the projects which were in her head. And I had some projects in my head for quite a while, but I had the yarn, I had the pattern, but I didn't make the time because I was interrupted by all the new inspiration. Suddenly a new project was on my needles. So I was very curious what would happen when I just casted on all the things. No, not all the things. I couldn't cast on all the things. I tried to focus a little bit on spring and summer projects. So that was an interesting experiment, and I will share some thoughts about how I feel about the cast-on party at the end of this episode. But I want to show you all my works in progress first. I keep most of my knitting and crochet projects in lovely project bags made by lovely people, kindly gifted to me, and I have a lovely gift from one of these lovely makers for you. So if you are interested in that, check the end of the episode. I started filming this episode last week, so let's jump a few days back and I will see you in a few minutes. Okay, I want to start with a few projects which are actually living on my windowsill. Because they are taking quite some space, and yeah, I don't have to do anything special with those. Let me start with my northeasterly blanket. This is my scrappy blanket. Every time I finish a project in fingering weight yarn, I put the yarns in the basket and finally in the blanket. I haven't touched it for months. And that's okay. I can always use my Ravelry page for the right order of those scraps. And yeah, it's just bringing me a lot of joy. And I know at some point I will pick it up. It's the perfect project to work on in the early mornings. My start of the day knitting or crochet project. But the thing is, I have two other blankets on my needles. So this is not getting a lot of attention now, but it will happen one moment. Okay, my second windowsill project is this crochet blanket. This is the Woodland Ripple blanket, a free pattern from Lucy from Attic24. And I really love this wavy crochet pattern. And I think it will be a perfect lap blanket. It's a little bit on the narrow side. It looks a little bit small, but there will be a border, maybe, and when it's blocked, maybe it will be okay. I'm crocheting it with my advent calendar from last year. It is from a Dutch dyer. I showed her sock pattern last week. Her name is Manon and her company is called Witzomer. I really love the colors. So, lovely pattern, lovely yarn. Next windowsill project is another blanket, another advent blanket. This is my Bits and Bobs blanket and I'm in the middle of a row. I actually hadn't touched it for a few weeks, months. And last week I picked it up again because I did wind up a new mini skein. Maybe you have seen it last week, so I thought I can knit again. The Bits and Bobs blanket. Oh, I forgot the name of the designer. It's a lovely pattern. Every time I saw it, I wanted to make one myself, and now I finally started one. What I'm doing is I'm holding my advent yarn from my second advent calendar last year. Can I show it? All lovely mini skeins. This is from Alexandra. Her company is called Het Wool Based. I'm holding it together with one strand of undyed Doendaga yarn I bought at a lovely yarn shop in the Netherlands, Mo and More. I am very curious how it will work out, how the colors will be catched. This advent calendar is dyed in a fade, I guess. I never knitted in a fade and I was a little bit worried my main color would influence the colors of the beautiful colors of the advent calendar too much, but I think it's okay. I think I will pick it up more in winter, but I don't need a blanket, so no hurries. It's absolutely a process knit. Ooh. My last windowsill work in progress is this little basket. It's my sock basket, or it is not specifically my sock basket, but it is now. There are several socks living in, a finished pair, which I need to weave in some yarn ends. My newest pair, which I'm working on according to my planning. It is the Scrappy Sock project, the Christmas project for my family. I'm very good on track, so that's really satisfying at the moment. And I also am knitting at this beautiful sock for my sister in the beautiful yarn, which is also from Alexandra from Het Wool Based. And I just made the heel, so yeah, really satisfying. The two socks in this basket are my start of the day knitting project at the moment. A heart jumping moment at the beginning of the day. Okay, next project is also a blanket. This one is actually living in my bedroom during night and knitting office during day. I actually work on this blanket a lot while editing. Then I work at this project, which is really the perfect project for it. Because, here's my crochet hook, a 4mm one. Because the rows are endless, the stitches are very simple. I was inspired by Emma from Woolly Mammoth Fibers. She showed in one of her podcast episodes, not really recently, at the beginning of the year I guess, that she made a baby blanket with all her yarn scraps. And I have a big basket filled with cotton yarn scraps. I don't want to keep it in my stash forever. Sometimes I love to move my stash, to keep it moving. Sometimes it's good to get it out of your house, but I don't want that too. I just want to make something with it. And I am not in a hurry, but I love it when it's moving. I really love this project. It's so much fun. I made it very wide. I just crocheted change until I thought, okay, this is about the width of our bed. And especially because the rows are so long, it is such a relaxing crochet project. I decided to not weave in the yarn ends. I think I'm okay with that. It saves a lot of time. I can weave them in if I want to, but I don't think I want to. I hope I don't want to. I am only doing the simple crochet stitch, and I always get a little bit confused when I talk about the crochet stitches in English, because you have different terms in the UK and the US. In Dutch we call this stitch een vaste. It's the most easy tiny stitch. And there's a lot happening color-wise, and the colors, they don't match at all. But because of this small stitch, one row, they blend very well. I put one row of brown cotton every 6th or every 7th row. In my life, everything's better with a little touch of brown. And the rhythm of every 6th and every 7th row, actually, it happened accidentally. It was my plan to do it every 10th row, because 10 is my lucky number. But yeah, I don't know what happened, but I love the darker stripe, the rhythm in between. It's all about the balance. Another project which is living in my knitting office is this project. It's a shawl. It's a Andrea Maury pattern. I think it's a traveler shawl. I'm not quite sure. My pattern is still upstairs. I casted this project on during my cast on party in May, and the idea was that I always love to have a shawl on my needles. I love very big shawls, but they can be very time consuming. But when you have a shawl on the needles and you knit or crochet every now and then, suddenly the shawl is finished. So I thought it would be lovely to have that, so it would be finished in autumn or winter. What was I thinking? Not much happened. I work with this lovely Dundaga yarn. I also bought at Mo and More. And the color is grey and black and brown, a little bit of beige. I really love it. I cannot get the pattern in my hands yet. It's not really repetitive. I get confused all the time. So I have the pattern with me, and I know in which row I am. I did write it down very carefully, very detailed. I have all those check boxes, or actually it are check circles. So I always know where I am in the pattern. And I think I didn't work a lot on this project because of the rustic yarn. I don't love working with rustic yarn in summer. So little reminder for next year, save your rustic yarns for winter, and maybe the shawl will be ready in autumn 2026. Okay, back to Monday. This first one in this lovely bag is my ginger cardigan, and oh, I love this pattern, and I really want to have this finished object right now. But as you can see, not much happened, with a reason. The yarn is from Farm Lovers. I bought it at Knitted Cloud at a knitting event in the Netherlands in April. The problem with this project is that I made a mistake. This cardigan is a top-down V-shaped neckline cardigan with a raglan in fingering weight. I really need this in my life right now, but it's not finished. As you can see, this lovely stitch pattern, I made a mistake and I fixed it. It's a little bit visible, it's a little bit messy. I think I can live with it. It's quite on a markable spot. But when I was checking the pattern, I realized that I probably was following the wrong chart for my size. And then I got an error, and then the whole process stopped. Maybe you recognize it. When you have a mistake, or you think you have a mistake, and there is a lot happening on your needles to distract you, then it's quite easy to ignore a work in progress. So that's what happened with this one. I didn't touch it since June. It's not really a problem because I know myself. I will dive into it again because I really want this cardigan. If I really did it wrong, I'm not quite sure if I did it wrong. Only the thought that I could have probably done it wrong is enough to drop the process, to drop the knitting. If I really made a mistake, then it's probably an option that I will start over again completely. Another project with actually maybe the same problem is my Audrey and Unst vest. I thought it was quite boring in the beginning, but when I picked it up after summer vacation, it became a heart jumping project. I really loved working on it and I loved the yarn. It was really, really good, and I actually thought I would already have finished it by now. But I made a mistake. I discovered a mistake. Most of the knitting I've done right now, and I could fit it a little bit, the right side. And I thought, oh, it's looking quite big. So I'm not quite sure how this end result will work out. We shall see. But then I am at the left front and I made a mistake, I guess. I'm not quite sure. I have 4 stitches too much. I know someone texted me that she had a mistake in the pattern with the numbers for, I guess, the front panel. And I thought it was already fixed. And now I'm not sure if I made a mistake or if there's a mistake in the pattern. So I need to search for it. So I just need to frock a few rows and pick it up again. But there's some time and attention needed to do that. And it will be okay, but I had a busy week, so then it's not something I like to do. Quite close to finishing. Keep knitting when you make mistakes, because when you stop knitting, they can grow bigger and bigger, and quite often that's absolutely not necessary. I will pick up this one very soon. Okay, in this lovely project bag I have my lowrider cardigan. Also a combination of the granny stitch with the knit to purl to ribbing. I really love it. It's almost finished, but I discovered accidentally a lovely way of picking up the stitches for the border, so you get that nice little edge. No, I don't know. It looks a little bit like a slip stitch. And I want to film how I do it. So when it's a finished object, I can not only tell about it, but also show how I do it. So yeah, I need to film it. Okay, here's a big basket with all my, no, not all my, with some of my DK scrappy yarns. I casted on a second Droodle vest. A few weeks ago, I made the first. I used a pattern from the Kalides vest, and I really felt the need for some playing with no plans, just play and knit. And I am doing a second one. I have 2 projects which I casted on during our summer, so not at the start of my cast on party, but later. I didn't plan those projects, but they have a special reason, and I will tell you more about it in a later episode. But let me show them. I have my sporty tank, and I am also working on a Hobbiton vest. Oh, I dropped stitch. I think I need more needle stoppers. So more about them later. Lovely colors, lovely projects. Will be continued. One other pair of socks. It's actually living in our camper van. I finished this sock during our holiday, and I don't need socks, so I'm not in a hurry. I knit them on shorties, so I knit them English style. And it's the perfect project to have in the camper van, so I will never run out of knitting. In this little project bag is one of my cacti to be. In April I bought a little set at a knitting event in the Netherlands from a little company which is called A Special and More. And there was some little tiny cotton yarn balls in it and a few different patterns for 3 cacti, I guess. 3 different cacti. This is my third one. I have a collaboration with my youngest girl. She makes the bottom part, the pot. She crochets that one and I make the upper part of the cactus. We finished 2 together during our summer vacation, but we didn't finish the third one. And since then it's a little bit ignored. So I'm sorry. This basket might be a little bit dusty because it's in the living room for months now. I am knitting a sweater. It's the Nyezi pullover and I'm knitting with lamb's wool from Long Yarns. It was gifted to me, I think last year or maybe the year before, I can't remember. And this is also some of my stash I want to move. I casted this sweater on in let me think, in February, I guess. It's a lovely pattern. It's a drop shoulder pattern, a top down pattern, and I make it quite oversized. This is the back side. It's really easy, repetitive. It feels lovely. Yeah, I don't know if it will be for myself. I don't think it's really my style. But it is just a process knit by knitting a lovely sweater, and maybe I will give it away to someone. Maybe one of my kids loves it. I don't know. We will see. Okay, behind me I have quite some project bags filled with... And let me show it to you. Let me start with this one. In this project bag I have the beginning of the Sweetheart sweater, a pattern from Christoffers in her book Knits to Wear. It was actually a HeartJumping moment when I casted it on, because I added short rows. They are not in a pattern and I did want them into the sweater. So I learned how to add short rows in the ribbing, and it was the first time I actually really understand what I was doing while I was doing short rows, especially how to calculate how many short rows I needed and where to start with a helpful tutorial. I can't remember by head, but it's in my notes on my Ravelry page. I haven't knit this sweater because of the yarn. I'm knitting with Holst Super Soft, held double, lovely yarn, lovely color, not in summer for me. It really doesn't work for me to work with non-superwash yarn, itchy yarns in summer. So I saved it for autumn and I can't wait to pick up the sweater again. A little bit exciting because of the round yoke, and I'm quite close to the decision. Round yokes are not my thing, but I really want to make this sweater, and I am okay with it when it doesn't fit me. Then it will be for someone else and I will just enjoy the process. So I know that's a risk, but I'm okay with that. This is actually a sad one. I wanted to knit the spring line tee. I bought some beautiful yarn from a Dutch dyer and I love the color and I really wanted to have the tee, but I didn't enjoy it. I couldn't get the lace in my fingers. It was looking messy. I think I picked a too big size, too big gauge. Didn't work. So I stopped knitting on it. And my mom, she finished her spring line tee and it's looking so good on her. And I want one myself too. So I will make it again, but this was not the right time. Maybe next spring. I don't know when. In this project bag, I have the pattern and the yarn for a garment I want for 2 years now, and it still didn't happen this summer. The love letter top, also by Christoffers. I just didn't cast it on. I was doubting between black or brown. Didn't happen. Nothing happened on my needles. No love letter top for Sarah. Maybe next year. I still want to make it. Another project which didn't got on my needles is the little duck from this lovely book, Moose and Friends. This book was gifted to me by a Dutch shop owner. I still must knit it. I want to knit it, but it didn't happen. So I still want to make it. I will definitely do. I don't know when. My final project is the only project I want to frog. The rest I want to finish or I want to start. This one I want to frog. Last spring I bought some lovely Dundaga yarn. I showed a few projects with all kinds of Dundaga yarn, and this one was really lovely to me. I love the colors, and I cast it on immediately for a kind of shawl, not using a pattern, only my own idea. I don't want to finish the shawl. I'm also making my traveler shawl, and I have some shawls. It's enough. I don't want to make this into a shawl. I still love the colors, and so I will frog it and maybe make a little vest of it or another cardigan. I have enough yarn, I guess, but not a shawl, so I will frog this. Okay, those were all my WIPs. I think it were 16. I will frog one, so 15 left. For some people that's absolutely overwhelming, and for some people it's not impressive at all. That's quite funny actually. I have some mixed feelings about the cast on party. Some things really worked good for me, some didn't. I loved the casting on thing, make a plan and cast on a lot of projects in a very short amount of time. I didn't feel the pressure of all the things I want to make. It was all happening on my needles, and that was okay, and I was allowed to focus on them the way I wanted to. So it was not my goal to spread my knitting time evenly. When the projects were on my needles, I could focus on one project if I want to, or several. It was all good. It was intuitive, so that was really good. I didn't plan the projects very well. I just casted on the things I wanted to make, and I didn't check the balance of my creative needs. I made a list at the beginning of this year with my creative needs. What do I need in my knitting and crochet? And it can be very easy. I want something easy, I want something challenging, I want to learn a new technique, I want something colorful, I want a scrappy project, something for someone else, I want a colorwork project. And I made a list because I noticed that quite often I don't feel all the needs. And for example, I really love knitting colorwork, but it can happen I hardly knit colorwork for one whole year, and that doesn't make sense. So to provide that, I want to track my needs a little bit, but I didn't think of it when I casted on my projects. So I get a little bit bored during the summer because I had a lot of easy projects going on. So next time I want to check better if my needs are in balance within my cast on party plans. Also, I really noticed I am quite a seasonal knitter and crocheter. I didn't really know, I guess. I had some projects with rustic yarn. I don't love wearing rustic yarn during summer, and I also don't love knitting with it. It just, I don't feel motivated to pick it up. But now it's getting colder, I really feel a need for rustic yarn. So next time I need to think of that. No rustic yarns in summer. But also I wasn't really feeling the sweater mojo in summer. I really enjoyed knitting summer garments in summer. I don't know if there will happen a cast on party this autumn or this winter, because I have 15 projects on my needles and I am really a good finisher. I really think finishing a project is a heart jumping moment, and I want to finish them. I don't want to save them for next spring and summer. I want to save them. I want to finish them now. I think there will be some new cast-ons in between before I finish all the things, and that's okay. But I also think it might not be a cast-on moment, a cast-on party moment. Maybe at the end of the year, beginning of next year. We shall see. I promised you a little project bag gift at the beginning of this episode. Project bags are the perfect little tiny bags, or sometimes quite big bags, to keep your knitting or crochet project in. It is practical because you have all the things you need together in one bag, but I must confess, for me, a big part of the joy is the heart jumping moment when I see such a lovely bag hanging at my chair or in a basket or whatever, filled with some lovely knitting or crochet. One of my favorite Dutch project bag makers, Rachel Beers, is celebrating an update of her shop. She did take a break last year. She didn't have time to sew project bags, so not much was happening. But now she is back on track and the project bags are flying off her sewing machine. And she makes really lovely ones with all kinds of vintage fabric. I have 4. They are all gifted to me, so I am very, very spoiled. And I love the vintage fabric in all kinds of colors. These are all big project bags, perfect for a sweater or a cardigan or a little blanket. And I have also another size. This is a small one. This was my first one. And yeah, I love the fabric. And this size is perfect for a pair of socks or a small knitting project. All those project bags I have for quite some years now. And the quality is very good. So to celebrate that she is sewing again, she offers you a discount code of 15% on everything in her web shop. And I asked her... It was for the Dutch viewers, but I asked her, can I share it in my English episode too? Because I don't know if you ship overseas or to other countries. And she said, yeah, you can share, they can contact me and we can see what's possible. I will share her web shop and also 2 of her Instagram accounts in the show notes down below. And yeah, you will find a solution, I guess. Also, if you have any special preferences, you can contact Rachel and she will think with you and check the possibilities and solutions and whatever. So please contact her if you have any questions. Okay, this was it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. Bye bye!